he goes off to war as that's his job, right? He's a general. He's got to go advance France against England, who is his sworn enemies. He'll do anything to make England look bad. Really, It's anything to make himself look good and prove himself on the field of battle. And there's a concept I want to come back to after this clip. It's this concept of, because Napoleon is so competent in battle, he takes that same approach in the bedroom. And so I don't want to talk about that concept yet, but I want to break this down on the backside of this next clip of he goes to battle. He's written her letters. He's concerned about her faithfulness. Are there snakes in the bed? Are there men going where only it belongs to me? And we know she's not. We see it. And so Napoleon finds out. One of the other leaders, commanders in the army, tells him, because one of his lovers is the handmaid, the chambermaid. And so he's like, oh, she's having an affair. He leaves the army. Like, he deserts the army to go confront his wife. And, you see it on the paper that, Napoleon's off waging war and she's enjoying herself in bed with her lover. And so he comes back, he's locked her out of the house. She comes in, and this conversation goes on. It's 3 separate scenes back to back to back. And first she's sitting there tearful. He's yelling at her. In the next moment, they're sitting by a fire. And in the final piece that you're going to hear, they're sitting together, calmly talking. And this is like, we talk about these moments that are painful in the movies, that wrench your heart. We prefer the moments that make our hearts come alive, but we also need to pay attention to the ones that really make us feel compassion, I guess is the word that we've used. And so just listen, or if you're on YouTube, you can watch the clip, and then we'll discuss what we see and our response to that after this plays.
What kind of creature are you? How could you care so little for me and my feelings? You are a selfish little pig. You think so lowly of me.
No, I don't.
Then why? Because you're what? Say it.
Sorry.
That's not enough.
What do you want me to say?
I want you to say that I am the most important thing in the world.
You are.
Say it!
You're the most important thing in my life, in the world.
And without me, you are nothing.
I'm nothing.
And you will do anything.
I'll do anything.
I'm not built like other men. And I'm not subject to petty insecurity. You're a beast. I feel sorry for you.
You want to be great? You are nothing without me. Say it. Say it. You are just a brute that is nothing without me.
I am just a brute. It is nothing without you.
Yes, you are nothing without me or your mother. Did you have affairs?
Of course I did.
Did you love them?
No. No, I did not.
Were they pretty?
Yes. Some of them. They served their purpose.
More than I do.
They cried less. That made them more attractive.
Don't leave me, please. Don't leave me. Just don't leave me. You don't have to forgive me. Just promise me you won't leave me.
So both of us have emotions in our eyes at that scene. For me, I'm recalling all the times, my wife and I have been married for almost 15 years now. And the man she's married to today is not the man she married. Thank God, because there is transformation and redemption in our stories.
Yes.
And I never said those words. I want you to say that I am the most important thing in the world. Oh, but I abused her heart because I demanded that. Prove that I'm more important than work or friends it's an insatiable hunger within of tell me I am most important. And when we were talking earlier about the whole idea of attachment, that's where it comes from. That's where it starts, is from mother, of that feeling of you are the world to me. But when we look to that for other places other than God, we find that brokenness and that what becomes an all-consuming need. And you said the hunger. It's like,
Yes.
I need to be the most important thing in your world. Because if I'm not, I'm nothing.
Yes. Yeah, there's so much. Even what you said, Paul, what I want to reflect back is how much is rooted in identity. If you say I'm the most important thing, then I am someone worthy of love and belonging, right? And then she takes that power play and says, you're nothing without me.
Right.
And so he has to become nothing so that she can feel powerful. And if it works, then he feels powerful because she stays. And you see this power over, power under. And like you said, the emotion that rises for me is, for so long, what I didn't understand. And I'm going to do a visual. If our listeners, I'll explain it for our video, is in our marriage, it was one up or one down. So I would have conversations with Sherry like this. How fun is that when your husband's talking to you like this? So I would get big, or I'd be down here looking up, right? And we would have this power brokering where one of us would get big or get small. And for me, the dynamic I did not understand was I would do this servant-hearted thing. I'll put you first. I'll do what you need. At my own expense, trying to act like a good man, but it was coming out of a place that was invalidated, feeling like if you think I'm a good man, then I am a good man. And then it would blow up because I would be exhausted or angry. And then I would get big, and Sherry would tell stories. She'd say that I would move her and the children around the house with my eyes. And it's fascinating how many times I've heard in spouse references for men that I create an atmosphere where they can trust that those references will be given to their husbands in love. How often they say men overestimate or underestimate the power that they bring to control the atmosphere in the home, for better and for worse. And a lot of times it's worse. And so often there's a above and below, over, power under, and healthy relationship is eye to eye. And that's why it's really important with children to get down low and look them in the eye, because we have no idea how intimidating, even if we don't feel intimidating, even if we're not using language at all that we would call yelling, sometimes just the energy of a person over you. My kids will say I was yelling at them. And I used to laugh going, you haven't heard yelling. I'm not a yeller, I know yellers. And that was totally invalidating the point. The point is their experience, right? Feelings are facts. Their experience was, you are yelling at me because it was power over. And so, yeah, what this scene helps each of us consider is, where are we brokering power in relationship, trying to get small or get big? And what is our natural inclination when we feel fear or shame? Do we go to getting big or getting small? And what would it look like to be honest in a self-assessment of the impact? When I get big, this is what happens. When I get small, this is what happens. Or even ask those that love us or live with us, what is it like? Do you feel like I get big or get small? I bet you could get a pretty clear answer. And what is it like to live with me? And how could I change that relational style in a loving way that models a repentance to say, I want to choose to be eye to eye, to know and be known, to first seek to listen and to understand. The goal is not to be right. The goal is to understand. And that's what you do out of a whole heart.